Hi there, my name is Brandi. I wanted to compose a video of my grief journey for the loss of my son due to SIDS, that's sudden infant death syndrome. I also wanted to encourage you that there is hope. Even in the midst of the darkness, there's hope. I have chosen to deal with my grief in my own unique manner. You may choose to deal with yours entirely different. I wanted you to know that there are other mothers that have gone through the things that you have. You're not the only one experiencing probably some of the thoughts and feelings and emotions that go along with the loss of someone who is close to you, whom you deeply love. For my son was, for my loss, my son was 11 weeks old. He's in the picture that's right behind me to your right. If you so choose, feel free to go ahead and comment on this video. If you have questions, I will certainly answer them to the best of my abilities. For my family, we've chosen to go the route of counseling. We have sought the help of professional counseling and a special center called the Warm Place in Fort Worth, Texas. It is a place where my children have an outlet and a way to grieve. They're able to do crafts and activities, read poems, share with other children what they've been through. And I have posted one of the YouTube videos with my daughter talking about the things that she's experienced with the loss of her brother. It's a little bit difficult for her as a child because she wants to share so much in such a little period of time. Also, she gets very emotional still talking about it, as of course we all do. I have my good days, I have my bad days. Because it's YouTube, I can edit things, and you won't probably see me crying as much, and the raw emotion of it is just too much, I think, to put on film. And I chose to use an informative style just so that I can maintain my composure. But the importance of a good support system while you're grieving and during your process, the walk you're walking down this road of grief, is so very important. The support system is number one. We would not have made it through to this point, with me even being able to share with you, had we not used some form of counseling or had a shoulder to lean on, a person to call in the middle of the night, even prayers of people from churches that we've been to. I know that we were on a prayer chain at several different churches. I so appreciate that. Things that have gotten me through it. My mom, we lost my little brother to SIDS when I was 11, almost 12 years old, and we lived in Texas, and she was in another state visiting her friend, and she went to sleep, and I'm not going to go ahead and go into the rest of that story. I don't feel like I can maintain my composure and go into it. But she was in another state, and then we had gone to visit my grandparents in a separate state. So we were all in different states for that particular summer, and we were having fun at my grandparents', and my mother was enjoying the summer with her best friend for a week, and all of us got kind of a vacation. And the unfortunate thing is that it didn't end with a happy ending. So my brother is buried in another state, and I have posted some of the photos of my mother and I visiting where he was laid to rest, and the way that we decided to let me reword this. The avenue that we chose for our grief with my brother was that my mother wanted to take roses to his grave. And so, of course, we went to Walmart and we chose a set of flowers. Now, my mother has been back to his grave since then. She usually takes a carnation or something, some sort of flower. She usually likes to take a blue flower. And this time we chose a set of white roses. They were just beautiful. And I thought about what I have done for my son, and I asked my mother while we were standing at the checkout line, I said, do you want to go ahead and get him a baby rattle before we finish paying for these? And she said, well, you know, I hadn't thought of that. I've never bought him a baby rattle. In fact, when he was little, I didn't even buy him a baby rattle. He was too small for that. Of course, he had stuffed animals and he had toys and I think even a teething ring, but she hadn't bought him a rattle. He wasn't quite into that stage yet. And so we went back to the back of the store with our roses, and I found the baby section and had her pick out a very colorful rattle, and we both picked it out. And as we were coming up front towards the registers, there was several cards, and I thought, you know, I've missed his birthdays, I've missed Christmas with him, and all the memories that we could have had. And so we went ahead and picked out a card, and I went ahead and posted it there for you to see on YouTube. Underneath balloon release and SIDS awareness. But I chose a very colorful birthday card. I know it's kind of girly, but it was really more from my heart and a way of the expression of my grief. And my mother picked out her own card, and you open it and it had music in it, and she signed it "Love Mom," and it had the M and then a little heart and then another M. And she's always signed our lunch napkins for that. Whenever we went to school, she'd send us off with a homemade lunch and a napkin that had "Love Mom" on it, or Mom with the heart in the middle. And she's just always been a wonderful mom like that. And so for us to both be able to make cards and express our grief was so healing, and it provided such a release to be able to share our grief together for my brother. And it hasn't always been that way, but it was a way of giving ourselves permission to grieve in the way or in the style that we chose. And so we were able to place the roses. If you're interested in seeing the video, it's there on YouTube, along with the baby land there in the cemetery where he is laid to rest. The roses, the rattle, his marker. That was the first time that I think I had gone there, and really it took its toll on me, but it's something I'll never forget. So for my family, when we did the balloon release, those pictures are also posted, but just being able to put messages on a balloon, taking the balloons with us, and really celebrating my son's life was a key that just unlocked a way for us to share our grief as a family. And that was something that we chose to do. And whether you think it's right or whether you think it's wrong, I think that really doesn't matter. It's just, what is it? How is it that you desire to express your grief? Is essentially what it comes down to. Also knowing that there is hope is in moving forward, that you will eventually find your smile again. I remember that being one of my major markers of understanding that I was actually going to make it. Was probably about 8 months after. And I began to smile again, not feel guilty about doing it, or not think, oh, you know, my son should have been here, and here I am smiling. I shouldn't be. And so that was a big deal to me, just to be able to smile and really enjoy it and have a good laugh. Those are things I never thought I'd do again, and I didn't really ever want to. I was with my family when I smiled again and when I laughed again, so we were able to share that. It was something that was kind of looked forward to, you know. I thought, will there ever be a day again that I smile? And I'm so glad that there was. Getting to that 1 year mark, that was really difficult, because I felt like I was re-experiencing a lot of those same emotions, and yet without the clouded fog or the haze or the dullness of the grief and the raw emotions. So I was experiencing those emotions to the full extent, and kind of being able to go through and look at them almost like from an external fashion. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but just be able to analyze what it was that I was going through, and just kind of how that loss has affected me. And I know that I will never be the same going forward. It has left its mark on my heart. My son is like a part of me. He's like having, it's like walking around without my arm. You know, just part of me is missing, and so I have to learn to function again without the part of me that is not here. And so I hope that these things help you and encourage you and strengthen you moving forward in your own grief journey. And just really give you encouragement that you can choose how that you're going to move through. I hope that you find some encouraging books to read, or an organization that you can be a part of that may not come for a long time. That may not be something that you want to do for many years. You may also want to get involved right away, and it's still entirely up to you. And I guess that's the one of the good things, is just being able to choose what you want to do. So anyways, I just hope that these video journals help you, just knowing that there's somebody else who's experienced it and who has lived through it, and who understands where you're coming from. But I was going to say I'll let you go, but as far as the holidays, while I'm sitting here thinking about it, I hope that you find a way to celebrate the life of your loved one through the holidays. For my family, we decided back in the summer to make ornaments for my son, Trace. The person he was with was a very close friend of ours, is a very close friend of ours, and she made him a, I'll think of what it's called in a minute, a stocking. And she put his name on it, and she put the whole manger scene on it. And so that was a way for her to be able to express her grief and put a physical something to do with it, an activity with it, along with the grief. And for my daughter and I, we made sailboats that look a little bit similar to this one right here behind my head. They were miniature versions, but they are sailboats with my brother Cameron's name on it, and then my son Trace's name on it. I made the one for my brother Cameron, and she made the one for my son Trace. And then also my mother, the way she put an activity or a craft to expressing her grief was to make a small little fence, and she wrote Trace Gardens over it, and posted that small craft over her garden. And so that was just a way that she wanted to express or an outlet to her grief. a way to release some of the emotions. And I was so very thankful for being able to put something to my emotions and express that grief outwardly. It was a very big deal. It was a very big part of the healing process. But you'll find things that work for you. I just encourage you to do them and to be comfortable doing them. Don't let anybody put your grief in a box and say you have to grieve one particular certain way. Certainly if you're needing help or support, reach out to a friend. Reach out to a professional counselor if you have to. But I just encourage you to make your own memories, new traditions, do something different if you have to. If you feel like you can't do the holidays, make a new tradition. Go to a friend's house, go out to eat, do something different. But, and I don't mean any of these things flippantly. I know it's a big deal to change traditions, and especially when you do not want to celebrate the holidays. But as far as this goes, I look forward to hearing some of the ways that this may have affected you and getting a little bit of feedback on it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.